Alright, Bryson, we're going to put this desk together from Wayfair, and it's supposed to be able to, do like any corner. It twists in the center. But they didn't send us any instructions. So we have all these parts, right? And you were showing me the parts that were definitely the feet.
Yeah, these are the feet for
they have the
here.
Vinyl nubs on the bottom. Oh, okay, I see. So for that end. Cool.
And I have already figured out which one is the feet.
And we're recording this because you couldn't find any good videos on it. Oh, there's more.
Yeah, feet for the other end.
Oh, I see. So that's for that left side there.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. And that's side you're gonna. Oh, I guess you can make either side the left or the right, can't you?
Yeah.
It's reversible either way.
Yep.
Cool.
You're not certain if they actually got the measurements on this correct, but whatever. I should be able to move this if I need to.
Well, Bryson, you see that part that you put on the ground? How on one side it has like one hole, on the other side it has. So you had to flip that around.
You do?
Because see this right here.
Okay.
Is the
that. I don't think we need this plugged in right this second.
Just means the laptop can live on battery for a while.
Okay. Let's move that out of the way.
You have to do things on their sides and stuff like that, anyways. But
yeah. So.
Oh, you know what, Bryson? Look at this. So look here. See how you've got these holes here? Yep. I think this is supposed to identify the back. So I think this has to be on the right hand side. I don't think this is completely. I don't think you can go left or right.
There's pictures of it on.
Yeah, but you see, this shows it on the right hand side.
Yeah, and I also went down to the comments and they said that you can.
But then this is going to be closed off. This part here. See how this?
Oh, okay. Well, I think I can just.
So I think you don't want to make that your right hand side.
I don't think there's actually any back end where you can just leave the back end opened.
Then it's not going to be sturdy.
Yeah.
It'll wobble. And you have to have angles on your corners somehow to hold it from bending. That's why, like, if you look at shelves like this, you'll have the backing that keeps it from falling over, because and usually like these edges here aren't enough to hold a square.
Well, we'll just have to see it for now. But I figured out that these three pieces are these three shelves.
So this is probably typical, very much like your typical IKEA set. This is stuff that goes. If we look at this,
stickers to
these go into these things, right?
Oh yeah.
And then you have these kind of screws right here that go in, and then these grab a hold of these.
Okay.
The smooth ends there. You got a whole bunch of those here.
And my knife is right here.
And then these go in all the holes like that. Okay?
Okay, so these are all the same type thing.
Yeah. But I'm thinking, okay, so you've got 3 of those?
Yeah.
I'm thinking those are those 3 right there.
And I'm just wondering, how do we... Actually, that should be fairly simple to set up.
Okay, so yeah, these are the 2 tall. So I'm imagining those are those 2 tall things there. Yeah. These are these 2 tall things on the sides. So you can start by making your shelves. And they got numbers on these things.
Yeah, but they don't have any instructions.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's 3 of these.
All on Lengby.
All on those. So I would start by putting these into these holes.
Let's open it up.
And we'll come back. Okay, so Bryson had this question about what to do with these holes. And that's where these, so yeah, one end goes in there, and then what's going to do is that's going to poke through to these, and that's where you're going to use these.
Then what about these holes?
This pokes through these holes.
Oh,
and this grabs that end. That's why you got the smooth screw. So you're gonna need the screwdriver.
Yeah.
You don't have a screwdriver with you, do you?
No. Oh, let's
Okay,
go down
welcome
and grab that.
Okay, so Bryson is getting the screws put in, grabbing all those other screws that he screwed in. And righty tighty. Yay, that's all it takes. Doesn't take much. Okay. Welcome back. So we have a very cool screwdriver that you can turn sideways, and you just tighten that thing up after you turn it sideways.
Yeah.
So we can fit it into the holes that are narrow, and it's also ratchet style, so you just ratchet it. Yay! Good to have the right tools. You could also use a power screw gun, but that would have been hard to fit inside these holes here. So. Good tools. So here's the problem. He put on both sides, but I'm looking at this right here.
Oh yeah.
And we're gonna put a bar across here, and you're not gonna be able to get it in, I don't think, with both sides of this on.
Oh, let's switch it to.
So quick undo. Okay, so we got that part done. I'm hoping I was taking video all this time. So, yeah. We almost put the second side on before we put this on. I captured that. Figured that out. So we'll put the top on that later on, but we are going to build this part right here next. And then we'll put the top on. Okay, so Bryson decided that the part right here, oops.
Well, matches up almost.
You see the books here, and then there's supposed to be the backing for the books, and you see the backing there. So instead of having the backing up against the wall, he's going to have the backing, which is going to go right there. Sitting out, so he'd be kind of like a hideaway cubby, I guess, because he wants the big part of the desk up against the wall, not like against the window. So what are you doing next here, Bryson?
So now we're gonna put this in right there.
That small part over. And what was that number?
That was 4.
That was number 4, huh? So that would be this part right here. He's going to put in. Alright, so we have these boards that are basically the same height, but different widths. The bigger ones, I think, go on the sides. That'll be the number 5s. And the number 8s are the ones that would be the backers. Okay, so there's that number 8 as a backer, and then number 5 on the side. Easy peasy. That.
This one fit in.
Oh, okay, I guess I'm recording. I'm gonna trim that later. So there's a number 9, and this one I flipped it over, but this is number 3. So they look like the same boards from first sketch. But Bryson pointed out something very important. So you can see this one has these 2 extra screws here, and this one does not. So this one would be the middle one, and this one would be the top one, because this is for the swivel part to go, right?
Yes.
Which is this part
Right there.
right here. So I think it goes on the other side, but anyways. Yay.
Yeah, it goes on the side, I'm pretty sure.
So, you're recording?
Yep.
Alright, so we managed to get this all together. It went together pretty straightforward and all. And that's all together, and we put our last 4 dowels in here at the top to take the top part and the screws. The most complex part here was trying to figure out the screws and everything for this. And you got this, and you got this, and it's pretty obvious that this goes on here, and then this is going to go on here. And we've got 8 screws, little short screws, because you can only go so deep through this wood. Here and here and here, and we got only 2 dowels left other than the spare parts. So we're assuming that these go in here, and these 2 longer screws will go through these holes to attach to here, right here. Right? So, makes sense? One more note, you can't put this on here first, right? Because then you won't be able to get the screws in to go onto here. Right? So we're going to put these screws in first, and then and since this is twisted, we should be able to put that on here and get to the screw holes to put those on. And then we put the top on. So we ended up being short one screw somehow. I don't know how. So we got the ones on the back of this first, and we got the 3 on the top of the desk. We just can't find the 4th one, or the 8th one. So Bryson went to find a screw in the garage. That might work.
Got 3 candidates.
Okay, there's a Mishka Dougie. So we got it together. We put the top on this part first, and then screwed it in, and then getting the swivel part over the dowels just right was probably one of the most challenging pieces. You have to have good depth perception and all that, but got it on there, and yeah, and there's our gentle autonomy pin. So yay! Got the desk. Let's do it from far back perspective here. Yeah, Bryson actually fits under there still, even though he's gotten so darn tall.
I'm slouching a lot.
Yeah. Right.